Hey,
Hey, hello.
hello. Do you see me? Hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
everything's okay, so we can start. So,
perfect.
the last time we spoke was around the premiere of the Heartless Portrait album, and since then there were some changes in Evergrey's camp. In 2024, for example, you said goodbye to Jonas Ekdahl. Was it a surprise for you, or did you feel that he was in fact tired of touring?
That was a big surprise to me because he told me the same day as we started recording the Theories of Emptiness album. So it was, and he only told me, and I told him you cannot tell anybody else in the band because you will fuck up their expectation for this album. So he told me same day as we were supposed to start recording the drums. So yeah, that was a surprise.
So, were there any signs that he was tired, or?
I mean, honestly, to be fully honest, there's always signs on every person in every band that that they might be tired of being a musician or being in a band. But I guess that's the same for every work, you know. There's always gonna be days and months, or if you're really unfortunate, years where you're unhappy uh, with your position in life. And if you are, I think it's best to do like Jonas did. You quit. You do something else because what a life is short. Two, if you in a band and don't love being in a band, then you should definitely do something else because it's hard as it is being away from your family and you know touring life. But if you love it, yeah, like we do, the rest of us who's still here, we've done it all of our life. So it's people change, things happen. You get families, you get two families, you get new families, you get divorced. It's all of that you have to put into the equation. But in Evergrey, we need to have people that are hungry and willing to take part on 100%. Otherwise, it's not worth it at all.
And soon Simon Sandnes joined the band on drums. Why did you choose this particular musicians? Did you know each other beforehand?
No, we didn't know each other. I had a friend, the co-producer with this album, Vikram Shankar. He knew him via some musical projects, I guess. So he recommended him, and we sent him a song where we wanted him to make his own drum lines and also write the drums for the song. So he didn't get the song. He didn't know what band it was. He just played and recorded a video, and he fit perfectly. He pretty much wrote the same lines on drums that we had written for that song. So when we compared what he wrote and what we had written, it was really cool to see how similar it was, which proved that we were thinking in the same way.
And his surname is almost like Sadness, which is very fitting for Evergrey.
Yeah, exactly. But we're more happy now. So
And Siemens' debut with the band was a standalone single, Oxygen. What's the story behind this track, and why isn't it included on the new album, or at least not on the standard version, because there is a bonus album mix?
the reason for that is very easy. It's because we didn't want to make our fans buy a double album on vinyl because it's twice the money. And if we would put that song in there, it's another 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and that would make it over the top in terms of being able to keep the quality of the sound. But then we also needed a song to be out for the tour we did with Catatonia, and we felt that sort of fit the darkness and melancholy that the Catatonia fans would appreciate as well. So it was lucky that we had a song like that. It was also one of the first songs that we wrote for this era of music, I would say. So uh, it's for me, it's still in my head. It's still part of the album, but it's just not on the actual album. It's on the bonus album. So.
And the new album is Architects of a New Eve. Is it the last album with Henrik, or he didn't participate in the recording process?
No, he didn't participate at all. So this album is made by the four of us. When we when we couldn't get a communication going with Henrik, we needed to make a decision because we were going into mix and we didn't have any solos. That was pretty much the gist of it. I've recorded all of the rhythm guitars for the last five albums, basically. So, and uh, and I didn't want to call in like a super brilliant guitar player from some other band or some other famous guitar player just because to have a guitar player. So I asked Johan, the bass player, if he could play half the solos, and he did. So half of the solos are Johan playing. In a perfect world, we would have had Steven come in before, but we didn't. So and then we didn't want to bring anybody in. We wanted it to be album by the band Evergrey, and now it really is. So it's by the four of us: Simon, Johan, Rickard, and me. So really cool.
And why did Henrik left Evergrey in the first place?
You need to ask him, honestly. He hasn't told us why he chose to do what he did, but we asked for some changes. We asked him for be uh, um, participating in a band where you split money in five ways you need to work, you know. And I guess it's the same. Like I said before, if you have a football team, you need to have five guys or 11 guys in the football team that play for the same team, right? That want to do the same thing, that want to are as eager and as hungry to play for the team as anybody else. And if they're not, then you probably should do something else. But we don't know really. We asked him for some changes and he didn't reply. So
But I think it will be interesting for the fans of Evergrey to hear Niemann's solos because they are very very good. Most people don't know that he also play guitar.
no, no, and I think that's the best story for us, you know, to instead of like I said, bringing in Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar or somebody who's super famous on YouTube, like Ola Englund or somebody, you know, since Johan and me wrote most of the music anyway, he knows the music, you know, so that would be the difference. Coming in, knowing this, I mean, I had to produce him a lot, but but he you know he's a brilliant guitar player, and he also plays guitar solos in a way that I like the most. It's solos that you can sing along to in the Adrian Smith type of way, you know. So yeah, I think it worked out perfectly. I don't think people will miss any soloing, for sure. I think it's also a lot of guitar solos on this album.
And the new guitar player for Evergrey is Stephen Platt, who filled for Henrik during the last tour. So I assume he was an obvious choice. He has proven himself in the battle.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously were in no rush. We had the album was already recorded and mixed. We did, we had a long tour with him. We got to know him, and we actually asked him like 4 weeks ago, so it's not that long ago. If he wanted to be on the album, we thought so. I mean, in the band, we thought so, but you never know, right? Because he also had an obligation with Scar Symmetry and all of that, and but that seems to be no problem now since they are not touring, according to Per. Maybe they're doing a show here and there, but that's what I heard anyway. So all is good.
And in our previous conversation, you said that each album is like a chapter from your life, because after all, the inspiration for lyrics comes from your personal experience. What topics are you exploring this time? What emotional impact does the Architects carry?
Yeah, what topics? I mean, I guess obviously the obvious choice to talk about is the world is on fire, which is both profound and sad and very hard hitting and very actual, very contemporary in a sense, which is not great. But bringing children into this world today is not it's not a given. It's something that every person who is a parent thinks about, I would think. Even us Westerners who are in Poland and Sweden, we're pretty safe, right? Even though you are close to the Russians, but it's still it's not like in Kuwait or sorry in Iran or in Lebanon or in Gaza or in Ukraine. We're pretty safe still. So I can't imagine what it would be like to be a parent in those countries, having to flee with your children or families. And when you decide to have a child, that's pretty much what you sign up for. you promise them that to keep them safe and healthy, you know. And and if you can't, I guess that's a huge stress on you as a person. So that's what that song is about, I guess. And I think there are I think the topics are, I mean, obviously not all about war or the current state of the world, but obviously it's gonna be through my eyes and how I see the world always, right? So um, Oxygen is more about depression, having had depression and how you get out of it. It takes time, but it gets better if you're willing to put in the work. And a lot of songs is about reinventing yourself and being the best that you possibly can. And I guess that's the main title, Architects of a New Eve, is that there are multiple ways in life, but you need to architect it by yourself. For most of us, nobody's gonna come and hand you 10 million and say, here, you can live this up for the rest of your life. Choose what you want to do. You need to put in the hours and the thoughts and that's what I think is the biggest struggle with people today, that the youth, a lot of the youth, at least here in Sweden, has lost faith in a future. And I think that's very, very dangerous. People have no hope for they don't have any aspiring dreams, which is horrible. And I hope that whatever we do as musicians in all my friends' bands and in Evergrey, that we help to inspire at least a few of them to grow up and become something within the music realm.
And you've mentioned the track "The World Is on Fire," but the first song that you released to promote the new album was the title track. So why did you choose this one?
Yeah, for me it was the second. You know, the Oxygen was the first for me, and then so I wanted to have a difficult, dark, brooding song to fit the Catatonia tour, and then I was yeah, now people are gonna think that we're gonna sound like that on every song, so let's do the Architects of a New Eve, and I guess that was a song that people really, really were searching for, in a sense, like an easy, accessible song, because right now it's the best start of a song we have had throughout our career, which is super strange. And now also World is on Fire is the same, also now picking up streams in an even faster pace. So it seems like people are slowly getting Evergreen now. Okay, it can be this and it can also be this. And I think I would say that this album lives in between the worlds of Oxygen and Architects of the New Eve. It's songs with easy accessible choruses and verses, and some songs are like that, and some songs are very dark but still has the choruses, you know. So that's the fantastic thing about being in Evergrey. We don't have to limit ourselves to doing one thing. We can have honestly, we could have had 8 choices for singles for this album. We could have had Heaven or a Burning Flame or what else? The Script is it's my favorite song. Uh, and for the people that we trust that we play the album to, they have different songs, you know. And now we chose to have The World Is on Fire and also Leaving the Emptiness, which is maybe one of the songs that are stretching furthest away from what Evergrey in its core is, you know. But just playing the same type of the singles that people expect at all times is not gonna win over any new fans, you know. And I don't think we will lose any fans over it either, because it's an opening for people to understand that, okay, Evergrey is also this, you know. We're still growing, we're still expanding, progressing.
Yeah, I love the very first track on the album, beside of the intro, of course, the Shadow Self, because it has like this monumental, very catchy chorus.
Yeah, 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 exactly, and a very tricky song overall in all other senses. So it's like, but I think that's what Evergrey has been getting much better at, is packaging the complexity into a more accessible format and also making it sound. I think the production team that we have now with me and Vikram producing and Adam Nolly get good mixing it. I think it has found a place in the world that people understands somehow.
And you've mentioned a track, "A Burning Flame," and this is a collaboration with Michael Stane from Dark Tranquillity. Where did the idea for invited him came from? Because it's not like we've got the obvious Dark Tranquillity voice in there. He's not
Yeah.
singing like in Dark Tranquillity.
No, but he's singing like in Cemetery Skyline, and that's where the. But to start with, was sitting here and writing this song, and then I got the news that Thomas Lindberg from at the Gates was ill uh, in cancer, and somebody told me, and I was like, I started to think about how long Thomas had been a key figure in the metal world, not only in the world, but especially for us growing up here in Gothenburg. And obviously me, Stanley, Anders Fridén, people in Hammerfall, all of these people that were hanging out at the same metal club called Valvet back in the day, watched Thomas and Grotesque play there, and then they started to tour outside of Sweden, and that was something. They went to Poland for a tour, I remember, and they went in a van, and I was like, "Fuck, is this?" He's showing us that it's possible, you know. And so that's the thought that I came to think about while writing it. So that's what the lyric is about: being finding something that you can really feel like a heat of fire for, you know, and still keep burning for the rest of your life, you know. And he certainly did that. But then, obviously, the music that I heard coming, writing music is a bit of a subconscious process for me. Stuff happen, and then you hear things. You can't tell where they come from. But then I heard like Stanley's voice on the song, and I asked him, and then he told me he said, "Fuck." Now I'm getting super nervous because he's a huge Evergrey fan, and he never told me. So yeah, it's really cool. I love all of these things that we get to collaborate with other musicians because that sort of also broadens our perspective and also invites their fans into Evergrey a bit and also invites you know our fans into them. So it's like it's very cool. I love it.
And the new album is Evergrey's 15th album overall. Is it like a small milestone, or maybe the numbers like this doesn't mean much to you?
I mean, it's an impressive number. It's in a number that is. It's not like you sit down when you're 19 years old and say, "I'm gonna make 20 albums," but now it doesn't seem that far-fetched, you know. So, but outside of that, no, it's not a mile. I would say 10 albums was a milestone. 15 albums. Now every album is a milestone in a sense, you know. It's and I guess Evergrey is also going great, getting bigger and bigger for every album that we do. Not very quickly, but small increasing fan base at for every album we make. So it's still rewarding for us, you know. And like now when we get shows with Iron Maiden and stuff like this, all of these things inspire you and keeps you fired up and keeps wanting you to make new music, you know. And that's the core. I make music. If I would get 1,500 euros per month for the rest of my life, or maybe get a few million, but I wouldn't know. I would take the 1,500 if that meant that I could keep on making music for the rest of my life.
And the cover artwork was again the work of Matthias Noren. This is his seventh work with Evergrey, eight if we count the live album, and another one which is completely different from the previous one. So how should we interpret this artwork?
Yeah, it was so funny. Last time, everyone, who the fuck made this album? He doesn't understand Evergrey at all. They didn't know it was him. And they don't know now, all of these critics, that it's the same guy making this one. But obviously, yes, it's a huge difference in between the albums, and I love them equally because maybe this one is his magnum opus. I have the original here. Here it is. You see it?
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, we had deep discussions with it, and he also fell in love with the album. For him, this is his. I think I saw the other day that he said that for nostalgic reasons, Solitude Dominance Tragedy is his favorite album because that's the first one he heard. He didn't work on it, and this one is his second favorite Evergrey album. So it's pretty cool since he worked on as many as you said as well. So it's no, it's he made a made a great job for this one. Really good. It's also no AI. Everything is hand painted. Uh, we added obviously like the digital logos and some digital stuff in text, but there is no AI. Everything it's watercolor painting, so it's really cool.
And you showed me the full artwork because on the album, on the front cover, we only have like a small excerpt of the full picture. So will we see this whole picture in the booklet or in the insert of the album?
I think it's a six-piece foldable digipack. So when you open it, it becomes the full thing.
Okay. And
So
there are a lot of Easter eggs on this album cover because we had like a reference to the inner circle. We've got the number 15 for the album. We've got O2 for the oxygen. And what does the number 162 means? And the
I,
letters on one of the chains.
I won't tell you. Then I would ruin it for everyone. This is the whole thing. This is why I love to sit and watch Power Slave covers and Somewhere in Time, and you know I could dream away for hours. And I think when you think about it enough, you will figure it out. It's not that difficult. It's not like a mathematic problem. It's something that is very Evergrey related, and obviously all of those things are. But there's so many nuggets in it. It's crazy. You will discover where I saw something like 2 days ago that hadn't seen myself that was in there. It's like, what the fuck? I never saw that because I didn't look at in that place of the. I love it. It's so lovely.
And the double version of the album will also include two other tracks, Heights and One Heart. So what can you tell us about these two songs?
One Heart was never on an album. It was only released digitally and on the Sweden Rock vinyl, which was limited to like 500 copies in Sweden only. And then Heights is one of the three songs that was sort of left over from this album, and I really love it. I think it's also maybe a song that gives a hint of a world that is also accessible within the Evergrey realm, if you will. It's not. I'm not saying that we're gonna sound like that, but I'm saying that we sound like that as well. So, and I think we had a song on the last song on the prior album was also one of those songs that more opened the door towards AOR in a sense, or melodic hard rock even. But we still package it in seven-string guitars and a fucking heavy sound. So I think that combination is extremely rewarding for myself.
And you've mentioned before that you're gonna play two shows with Iron Maiden for the Run for Your Life's World Tour. Have you considered how to approach the set list? Should you give fans of heavy metal something faster, harder, or you should just leave Evergrey as it is because you weren't chosen for without a reason?
No, and we were chosen by Steve Harris himself. So, but now obviously we're gonna play the best songs that we feel that we have, and a lot of them will be from this album, to be honest. And maybe not the most difficult songs. Like we will play Oxygen, for instance, because that ending is the most epic ending we have. But then I think we will play a song called Heaven, for instance. That's one of the songs, and we will play obviously like Falling from the Sun and yeah, leaving the emptiness as well. So we have to be smart about trying to convey Evergrey's world onto the what do you call it? Onto an audience that is obviously only there for Iron Maiden. And trust me, I will do the show as best as I can. I will run out and shower, and then I will stand in the front row, maybe in front of the front row, and I will watch the Iron Maiden show. So that's the biggest event for me that night. It's to watch Maiden. So no, but we will do our very best to try to to persuade the lovely fans of Iron Maiden that we are also something that you can listen to.
There is gonna be more unusual combination for Evergrey though, because you are going to be special guest for Decapitated. So we're gonna have a melancholy and a technical death metal. So
Yeah,
what should we expect from that?
I think it's just a cool thing to do. We're both doing festivals and we're doing the Maiden shows and then we just wanted to do something with somebody who was out there touring at the same time in order instead of traveling for 5 days and just waiting to do nothing. We figured we could team up with some quality band and make sure that it becomes a night that people will enjoy. And I like these crossovers in a sense because in the USA we have toured with Hate Eternal and Arch Enemy and In Flames and fucking Iced Earth and Children of Bodom. So it's like they are more tolerable in the US for these combos of not everything has to be. I mean, I don't going to like a prog festival or like a prog show where all the bands are prog. Then I couldn't do that for the whole night. I want diversity. So Bruce Springsteen, Bruce Dickinson, and Evergrey and Decapitated. That would be a cool combo.
And you and Vikram have been working on a game soundtracks for the past few years. And since I'm currently playing Warhammer Space Marine 2, tell me about your contributions to this title.
I think we did more than half of that whole game. We didn't fucking get the credit for it though, but I can't say too much uh, because then I might not get any more work. But yeah, we certainly was the team that worked the most on that one. We're doing. I mean, it's that's also very rewarding work when you get the credits. But right now we're doing Jurassic Park, for instance, which is something that we worked on for three years now. So it's a huge project that if we don't get the credits for that, we're gonna blow something up.
And are you currently working on something else than Jurassic Park, or is it only focusing on that one?
No, it's that and a few. We have done a few games in between. We did one called Painkiller, which is very much guitar-driven metal. And what else have we done? We did the Evil Dead. We did, and right now we're doing. I can't on the. This is also the thing. A lot of this stuff are NDA'd, so you can't talk about them. Because Jurassic Park we can't talk about because they have had a trailer out, which everybody can watch and listen to. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and then obviously we're working on Silent Skies stuff, and I mean Vikram has also made an album with In Temptation now, and we're gonna do a new Redemption album soon, and yeah, so it's a lot of me and Vikram in a lot of different uh, areas. I have a band called Dovorian, which I sing in, that came out with the single yesterday, that Vikram mixed. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, lots of music.
And this is all that I have prepared, so thank you very much for your time. Have fun during other interviews, and I would like you to say something to Polish fans at the end.
Yeah, I mean, last time we played Poland, we did Krakow, I think, with Catatonia. It was an awesome show. We Poland has become a really great place for Evergrey, so we can't wait to come back. And obviously, we do the what is it, Mystic Festival in
Mystic Festival,
Gdansk.
yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who are there, come out and watch us. We play a short, intensive set on the Friday, I think, or the Saturday. Can't remember. Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, and then we're gonna stay for the rest of the weekend and watch other bands. So it's gonna be great. So hope to see you soon in Poland. Yeah.
Okay, so again, thank you for your time and have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.